This video is brought to you by StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world. They are also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage with microgrid solutions.
Everyone, welcome to Auto Spec Reviews. I'm Ryan, here with more truck content. Today we have the F-150 Lightning Lariat extended range, and we're going to be taking it on the 10% challenge, which is essentially our road trip simulation test. So let me tell you a little bit about the truck and a little bit about our testing procedures. First things first, want to apologize for how filthy it is. We just took this on a great towing test, which I hope you guys will get the chance to watch as well. But this is the F-150 Lightning Lariat extended range. So it has the big, about 131, 135 kilowatt hour battery. It's EPA rated for 320 miles. And with this Lightning trim, we have 20-inch wheels, which are pretty big, but more aerodynamic and efficient than the Platinum trim, which we've already tested. Additionally, this is the 2023 model, so it does not have the heat pump, but it's still rated for, again, 320 miles on the EPA cycle. Let me tell you a little bit about our procedures. First, like always, we set our tires to the factory recommended pressures. Next, we run the vehicle down to 10% state of charge. And we do that at precisely 10% and precondition the battery for fast charging. And we do that because this is simulating a road trip, and most people like to arrive with chargers with a little bit of buffer. Next, we're going to plug in, and we're hopefully going to see peak charging speeds. And that's what we're always aiming to see. However, there's a little bit of delay between when we plug in and when it actually starts charging. This is called the handshake time, that's what we call it. And once the contactors click, which you can hear, that's when the charging actually initiates. So we will charge for precisely 15 minutes after the contactors click. And again, like I said, we have 10% state of charge and the battery fully preconditioned, so this should be pretty close to a best case scenario as far as getting as much energy into the pack as possible. For that 15 minutes while it's charging, I will have the climate control running in the vehicle. And again, this is simulating a road trip. And a lot of times when you're on a road trip, you spend some time in your car. You've got the AC running, it's warm or cool out, and that's just another factor that we like to include in this. So once we've charged for 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and unplug and head out onto the highway. And before we do that, we set the climate control in eco setting between 68 and 72 degrees, wherever is about comfortable. And then next, I'm going to head on to the nearby highway and just cruise on at 80 miles an hour. Now, again, that's 80 miles an hour, not 70 like our range test. And again, this is more similar to a lot of road trips what people do. We think this is a more realistic scenario. And the plan is to essentially go on the road and maintain 80 for as long as we can. We're going to go about halfway out for once we've used about half of our replenished range, we're going to turn back around and then set the charger back as a destination. That'll make sure that the battery preconditions. And again, that's to simulate what you do on a road trip. And our plan is to actually stay on the highway, and we're gonna stay on the highway watching the state of charge. And as soon as it moves from 11% state of charge down to 10%, that's going to be our 10% challenge number, our result for this challenge. As I mentioned, we're at 10% state of charge, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in at this 350 kilowatt Electrify America and record the handshake time. You'll be joining me shortly once I have that recorded. Well, we had a pretty quick handshake. It was, I don't know if you'll be able to see, 33 seconds, which is quite impressive. And it's ramping up. Now we can see it's going to 167. And actually, Ford has a very interesting charging strategy where they give you a timed boost. I think it's about 10 or so minutes. And after that, it'll go back down to a nominal charging curve. What's interesting is that timed boost can happen at almost any state of charge. So if you arrive at a charger at like 60% or something, you're still going to see that charging boost and really fast charging speeds for a few minutes. And here you can see 172 kilowatts, 173. We're 5 minutes in, up to 20%. I've seen peaks at like 176 right there. And doing okay. Still on the charge boost right now. Just dropped by about 10 kilowatts to 166 or so. Looks like it's starting to walk its way down here at 11 minutes. Stop, 15 minutes. Got down to 138 there, and let's see what the amount of energy delivered was. 40.3 kilowatt hours. Not sure if you can see that, but not bad, not great, but we know this vehicle is not the most efficient, so we'll have to see how far it goes. Been going for a few miles now, and Blue Cruise finally kicked on. We have it set to 80, which matches 80 miles per hour GPS speed, and got a pretty empty highway, and people are just moving. I'm actually the slowest one on the road right now. Exiting here at 31% state of charge because it looks like actually there was a pretty big accident, so some traffic piling up. So just gonna turn around and do some loops. It's all right, we made it, I don't know, almost 20 miles or so one way. As per usual, we're gonna do a nice gentle acceleration up to 80 and merge on to with some of this other cars. Made it back to our starting place where we first got onto highway going 80, and as you can see, just about 40 miles so far. We've done 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. We're at 21% state of charge, just ticked down from 22. And yeah, like I mentioned, this is like an out and back style test. So again, my goal is to try to get right around this location at 10% state of charge. The reason I want to do that is to cancel out any sort of elevation gain or loss, as well as any wind, as much as I possibly can in this test. And by going on a loop style, I can do basically exactly that, and to the best of my ability in the real world, mitigate the effects of both elevation and wind. And there you saw in the bottom left, right around there, 10% state of charge, and we did, watching the road, I promise Ford, 63 miles. It was just a little bit under, but we round up. It'll be 63 miles at 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. That efficiency is not very great. The mileage number is not very great. Yeah, not super great. Let's take a look at how this compares with some other vehicles that we've also tested. I don't have all that much to add. Unfortunately, the F-150 Lightning just didn't do that well on the 10% challenge. And I'm not putting that in context of trucks, I'm putting that in context of all vehicles that we've tested. It simply just didn't do well. I did want to give you a few positives. The handshake time was a few seconds shorter than we typically see on CCS vehicles, so there's that. Amount of energy delivered was 40.3 kilowatt hours, which is decently solid. It's better than the Audi e-tron or Q8 e-tron, also better than a Volkswagen ID4. However, it falls short when you compare it to something like a Tesla Model X, a Rivian Large Pack, Kia EV9, a lot of those faster charging vehicles. And additionally, of course, efficiency was extremely poor, but that's to be expected. It's a big truck. We're going 80 miles an hour. I'm going to take a moment and you can see some of the vehicles that I have up here. And if you want, you can go ahead and take a look for yourself over at outofspecstudios.com, and it'll be under the 10% challenge. That's about all I have for you guys. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say, but have to say that I'm personally a bit disappointed with how the Lightning did. Well, I'll see you guys on the next one.